Published, 11:30 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 15th of August 2018. Updated, 11:31 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 15th of August 2018. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has added to the chorus of condemnation being levelled at a Queensland Senator after an inflammatory and controversial maiden speech in Parliament. The Labour Party and the Greens were quick to condemn the speech by Qatar Australia Party Senator Fraser as racist, and were particularly appalled at the use of the term final solution. Now, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has made his thoughts known. Scroll down for video. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull added to the chorus of condemnation being levelled Senator Fraser pictured, after an inflammatory and controversial maiden speech in Parliament. Let's be quite clear, those who seek to demonise all Muslims on the basis of the crimes of a tiny minority are helping the terrorists, Mr. Turnbull told The Age. Mr. Turnbull also took to Twitter to respond to a colleague's comment about Senator Anning's speech not being representative of the government. Australia is the most successful multicultural society in the world, built on a foundation of mutual respect. We reject and condemn racism in any form, Mr. Turnbull wrote. Mr. Turnbull's comment was in response to a tweet from Minister for Citizenship and Multicultural Affairs Alan Trudge. In his speech, Senator Anning called for an end to Muslim immigration and a program that favours European Christian values. Fraser Anning's comments on immigration do not reflect the views of the government nor the views of fair-minded Australians. We will always maintain a non-discriminatory immigration program, he wrote. The final solution comment was used by Mr. Anning as he spoke about ways to change immigration laws. The final solution to the immigration problem is of course a popular vote, Mr. Anning said during his speech. It was Mr. Anning's maiden speech in Parliament after switching to the cap in his role as Senator for Queensland. Australia is the most successful multicultural society in the world, built on a foundation of mutual respect. We reject and condemn racism in any form, Mr. Turnbull wrote in his speech. Senator Anning called for an end to Muslim immigration and a program that favours European Christian values. Diversity should be managed to remain compatible with the social cohesion and national identity, he said in reference to immigration. We as a nation are entitled to insist that those who are allowed to come here predominantly reflect the historic European Christian composition of Australian society and embrace our language, culture and values as a people. Mr. Anning then called for a ban on all Muslim immigration. Pauline Hanson and One Nation were quick to release a statement reiterating the party's stance on immigration in the wake of Mr. Anning's comments. He believed that the reason for ending all further Muslim immigration are both compelling and self-evident. He continued, the record of Muslims who have already come to this country in terms of rates of crime, welfare dependency and terrorism are the worst of any migrant and vastly exceed any other immigrant group. Pauline Hanson and One Nation were quick to release a statement reiterating the party's stance on immigration in the wake of Mr. Anning's comments. One Nation's immigration and population policies have been responsibly developed to address issues surrounding rapid population growth, social cohesion in our communities and underdeveloped infrastructure in our cities and regional communities, she wrote. With no regard to the racial background of potential migrants, the people of Australia should be given a say in the future population and immigration levels of Australia, and that is what this plebiscite, if passed, will achieve. Ms. Hanson described Mr. Anning's comments on race and religion as appalling. Opposition leader Bill Shorten took to the Parliament floor today to express his views on what makes Australians who they are. Labour MP Anne Ali, the first Muslim woman in federal parliament, held back tears as she spoke about Mr. Anning's speech. I'm tired of having to stand up against hate, against vilification, time and time again, she said. It means something that all of us here stand up against this racism, stand up against this hatred and stand up against the disgraceful use of that neo-Nazi, white supremacist terminology. Opposition leader Bill Shorten took to the Parliament floor today to express his views on what makes Australians who they are. What makes a good Australian is not what God you worship, not where your ancestors came from or how much money you have, he said. Labour MP Anne Ali, pictured, the first Muslim woman in federal parliament, held back tears as she spoke about Mr. Anning's speech. It is not your skin color, your postcode, your occupation or your gender. What makes a good Australian is what is in here, in your heart. Labour MP Tony Burke also spoke out against Mr. Anning's speech. If we stay silent now we give racist voices exactly what they want, he said. The program that allows people to enter Australia says the purpose of migration is to build the economy, shape society, support the labour market and to reunite families. According to government figures, 68% of foreigners entering Australia are skilled migrants and 32% are from family visa streams. Mr. Anning made direct reference to the program during his speech. Net immigration must be reduced to a level which can be supported and therefore must be set following detailed modelling and planning for the associated necessary accommodation, facilities and infrastructure. He said, "I believe that immigration to our country should be a privilege, not an obligation, free right provided to anyone from the third world who demands it. Infrastructure. The program is malleable and can be adapted to fit with current conditions." Mr. Anning was elected senator in November 2017 as a senator for Queensland by the High Court of Australia as a member of One Nation. Before switching allegiance to Qatar's Australia part, levels of immigration are set out each year by the federal government, with the number reflecting the size and composition changes to meet the social and economic needs of Australia. The fact sheet for the program explicitly states that the migration program does not discriminate on the basis of race or religion. Mr. Anning was elected senator in November 2017 as a senator for Queensland by the High Court of Australia as a member of One Nation. Before switching allegiance to Qatar's Australia Party, his history prior to Parliament includes 3 decades owning and running hotels, as well as working as an aircraft manufacturer and grazier. He earned his diploma at Agricultural College Brisbane and also served in the Australian Army from 1969 to 1973.